I overheard her telling her mother, "I'll just wait until he's deployed, then I'll empty the accounts." I said nothing. I just re-enlisted for a 5-year tour. After I transferred every cent to a new bank, her scream when she saw the dollars balance. Original post I, 34 am, or I guess was, a 12-year guy in the service. My whole plan for the last 2 years has been, finish this contract and punch out. I was done. I had my savings, $162,400 to be exact, from deployment pay, bonuses, and living in the barracks for years before I got married, and I was ready for civilian life. I was going to start a small logistics consulting business. My wife, Serafina, 30, Sarah, and I have been married for 4 years. She always said she was so proud to be a military wife. But lately, she wasn't. She was miserable. She hated the base, hated my hours, and really hated that I was frugal. She wanted the big house, the new top trim SUV, the officer's wife lifestyle on my E6 pay. Things were tense. I was heading out for a 9-month deployment in 3 weeks. I figured this was the last hurdle. We'd get through this, I'd get out, and we could finally start our real life, as she put it. I came home early from final prep 2 weeks ago. I was just walking in the back door. Sarah was on the patio, on the phone with her mother, Brenda. She was talking in that low, conspiratorial voice she gets. I stopped. "Mom, I just have to hang on a little longer," Sarah was saying, swirling a glass of wine. "His deployment is in 3 weeks. He's finally getting out after this one, thank God. He thinks we're gonna move and start some stupid business." She laughed. It was an ugly sound. "No. I'll just wait until he's wheels up. He said I'm in charge of all the accounts while he's gone. I'll empty the savings, transfer it, and file. By the time he gets back, I'll be long gone with a new apartment. He'll be stuck over there and I'll have the nest egg. He owes me this, Mom, for making me live here." I just stood there. My blood didn't boil. It turned to ice. The accounts. She meant my accounts. My $162,400. Money I had before I even met her, and money I'd earned on 2 previous deployments. But to make things easier, I'd put her on as an authorized user. I gave her the login info, the debit card for the household account. I did it because I trusted her. The nest egg. I didn't say a word. I backed out of the door, quietly got in my truck, and drove to a small park off base. I sat there for an hour. I didn't rage. I just planned. She wanted to treat my life's work as a nest egg to be stolen. Okay, the next morning I told her I had to go to the base for final out processing all day. My first stop was not the base. It was a national credit union she had never heard of. I opened a new checking account and a new high-yield savings account. All in my name. All with a new mailing address. My parents' place, out of state. My second stop was my current bank, the one she had access to. I initiated a full wire transfer. $162,000. I left exactly $500.38 in the savings account and maybe $200 in the household checking. I closed her debit card, citing lost card, and had a new one with a new number mailed to my parents' address. I changed every password. My third stop was the base legal office, JAG. I spent 2 hours with the captain, explaining the situation. I didn't have proof yet, just what I heard. He advised me on protecting my assets, which I'd already done, and what a divorce would look like. My final stop was the base career counselor's office, the one I'd been avoiding. "Reese," the master sergeant said, surprised. "Thought you were getting out." "Change of plans, Master Sergeant," I said. "I need to see what my options are for re-enlistment. And I want a new duty station, as far away from here as possible. I'm open to an unaccompanied tour." An hour later, I was looking at re-enlistment papers, a 5-year contract, a spot in an advanced training school, followed by a new duty station on the other side of the country. A bonus was involved. I signed the papers. My deployment was still on. My separation date was now 5 years, plus the deployment. I went home. I was, for the next 2 weeks, the most loving husband you've ever seen. I took her to dinner. I talked about our future. I listened to her complaints. I played the part of the dumb, trusting grunt. "Are you sure I have all the passwords, baby?" she asked, the night before I left. "Just in case there's an emergency?" "You're all set, Sarah," I said, kissing her forehead. "You're in charge now." I left for deployment last Tuesday. Or, she thinks I did. In reality, my re-enlistment and new training orders meant my deployment was delayed by 48 hours. I wasn't on a plane. I was in a barracks room on the other side of the base, waiting. The first text came at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, the exact moment her bank would have opened. Sarah, why isn't the savings account password working? Reese, call me. The household card was declined at the gas station. Reese? I'm at the bank. They're saying I'm not on the account. What did you do? I just checked the balance. Where's the money? $500. There was $160,000. Where is it, Rice? I let her panic for an hour. Just watch the texts pile up. Then I replied. Which money, Sarah? The money you were going to steal from me? The nest egg? The dots appeared immediately. What are you talking about? I would never. I heard you on the phone with your mother 2 weeks ago. On the patio. My Ring camera records audio, by the way. Great investment. The dots vanished. She started calling. I didn't answer. Then the texts resumed. Pure fury. Sarah, you spied on me? That's illegal. You can't do this. I have no money. You left me with nothing. You're on a plane. You can't just leave me like this. I'll call your CO. I waited. Then I sent the last one. I'm not on a plane. I'm on base, and I'm not getting out. I just re-enlisted for 5 years. I'll be gone for a while, but my new lawyer will be in touch. He's serving you divorce papers tomorrow at the house. You have 30 days to vacate base housing. Have a good life. Her scream. I couldn't hear it, but I could feel it through the phone. The sheer, unfiltered panic of a plan vaporizing. Sarah, you're lying. You wouldn't re-enlist. You hate it. Reese, you pick up this phone right now, you monster. You can't just throw me out. I'm your wife. I blocked her. I blocked Brenda. I turned my phone off. I picked up my duffel bag and walked out of the barracks on my way to my actual deployment. My lawyer has the Ring camera footage, a copy of my new contract, and a very, very clear set of instructions. Update 1. It's been 3 weeks. I'm not deployed yet. My new orders put me in a holding status pending my training school. This has, apparently, made things more complicated for Sarah. First, thank you for the support. To the guys who DM'd me with similar stories, damn, I'm not alone. So, the fallout. Blocking her number was just a temporary fix. She's resourceful. She couldn't get me on my phone, so she did exactly what she threatened to do. She called my command. This is, for those who don't know, the nuclear option for a military spouse. It's a dependa move of the highest order. You're trying to get your spouse in trouble with their boss. I was in a pre-deployment brief when my first sergeant stepped into the room and crooked his finger at me. Not good. I walked into the CO's office. My CO, a captain who already looks permanently tired, was sitting there. My first sergeant stood next to him. Reese, my CO started, and his tone was not friendly. I just got off the phone with your wife. She was hysterical. She's claiming you've abandoned her. She's claiming financial abuse and that you've cut her off from all marital assets. She's also claiming you're mentally unstable and that your re-enlistment was a manic episode and that you're a threat to yourself and others. I felt the blood drain from my face. This is it. This is how they get you. A mental instability claim can ground you. It can pull your clearance. It can end your entire career, re-enlistment or not. I stood at parade rest. Sir, that is a calculated and false allegation. Is it? The CO asked. Because she sounded very convinced. She says you stole all your money and ran away. No, sir, I said. My voice was shaking, but I held it steady. I protected my money. Sir, my wife believed I was deploying on Tuesday. She had a detailed premeditated plan to empty my entire life savings, which is separate property from before our marriage, and abandon the marriage the moment I was wheels up. She was disappointed when she found the accounts empty and I was still here. The first sergeant snorted. The CO looked skeptical. That's a hell of an accusation, Reese. You have proof of that? Yes, sir, I do. I pulled out my phone. I had the Ring camera clip saved to my cloud. I had airdropped it to my laptop. I had it on a thumb drive. I was prepared. Sir, this is a recording from my back porch from 2 weeks ago. This is my wife, Serafina, speaking to her mother, Brenda. I placed the phone on his desk and hit play. We all listened in silence. I'll just wait until he's wheels up. I'll empty the savings file. By the time he gets back, I'll be long gone. I'll have the nest egg. He owes me this, Mom. The CO's face went from steel gray to a dark, angry red. He didn't look at me. He looked at the phone. When it was over, he was silent. She called you unstable after her plan to commit felony theft failed, the CO said. It wasn't a question. Yes, sir, I said. And this financial abuse? She's referring to the $162,400 of my separate property savings that I moved to a new, secure bank. She is also, I assume, referring to the fact that my lawyer served her divorce papers. As per base housing policy, she will have 30 days to vacate once the divorce is filed. The first sergeant spoke up. She's also been calling the front desk, demanding to speak to you, harassing the staff duty NCO. The CO nodded. He looked at me. The anger was gone. He just looked tired. Riss, you did the right thing. Protecting your assets is not abuse. And thank you for bringing this to us. This allegation, mentally unstable, this is a direct attack on your readiness and your career. We're not taking it lightly. He turned to the first sergeant. Top, get base security on the line. I want her formally trespassed from this building. She is not to contact me, you, or anyone else in this command. All future contact is through JAG or his civilian lawyer. Make sure the base commander knows what happened. We're protecting our guy on this. Roger, sir, Top said. Get out of here, Reese, the CO said to me. Go to JAG. Get your lawyer whatever he needs. We'll handle this. And congratulations on the re-enlistment. We're happy to keep you. I've never felt so vindicated. Sarah's plan to destroy my career? It just got her blacklisted. Of course, she found a way to text me, a new app. You told my CO you're trying to get me in trouble? They said they'll arrest me if I go to your office. This is your fault. Brenda is here. We're going to see a lawyer. You can't just keep all our money. I'm getting half. You'll see, you psycho. My lawyer, a shark named Mr. Varga, received their lawyer's first letter. The entitlement is breathtaking. They are demanding 50% of the $162,400, emergency spousal support of $4,000 a month, that I be forced to let her stay in base housing, that I pay for her lawyer, a guy who apparently specializes in getting military wives what they're owed, damages for emotional distress caused by my spying and deception. Varga's response was, in his words, brief and brutal. He sent them the audio clip in a single sentence. All claims are denied. We will see you in court. I'm packing my bags. My training starts next week. It's out of state. I'll be gone. Varga is handling everything. It's a weird feeling. I lost my marriage, but I'm pretty sure I just saved my life. Final update. It's been 10 months. I'm writing this from my new apartment. I'm at my new duty station on the other side of the country. My deployment was a deployment. Hard work. But it was simple. Simpler than the legal battle that was raging back home. The divorce was finalized last month. I gave my lawyer, Varga, a full power of attorney, so the entire thing was handled while I was deployed. I just got the full after-action report. It was a bloodbath for her. Sarah and her lawyer, and Brenda, who apparently attended every single meeting, went in with one strategy. He's a cruel, abusive, and mentally unstable man who abandoned his wife and stole their marital assets. Varga's strategy was simpler. She's a thief who got caught. The money. Her lawyer tried to argue that the $162,400 was a marital asset. Varga provided my bank statements, every last one, dating back 10 years. He showed the direct deposits of deployment bonuses, combat pay, and re-enlistment bonuses, all into that one savings account. He showed that the account was opened before I even met her. It was the definition of separate property. Her lawyer then tried to argue that my intent was to gift it to the marriage by giving her access. Varga's counter. His intent was to have a trusted partner manage his household in an emergency. Her intent, as evidenced by this audio, was to commit felony grand larceny. The court cannot reward a criminal conspiracy. The judge agreed. The audio clip was the kill shot. The judge ruled that the entire savings account was my separate and sole property. Her lawyer's face, Varga said, was a picture. Spousal support. They demanded $4,000 a month. They argued she was dependent on me and unable to work due to the trauma I inflicted. Varga presented the audio clip again. He argued successfully that you cannot claim support from a marriage you actively conspired to defraud. The judge denied all spousal support. Permanently. The assets. This is where I did lose. And I was fine with it. We had to split the marital property. This consisted of a 2018 Ford Explorer, the car I was paying for, about $12,000 worth of furniture, all on my credit card, but purchased during the marriage. About $3,000 in a household checking account. The judge ordered it all split. The car was to be sold. The furniture was to be sold. I told Varga to just give it to her. Sir? He asked. I don't want it. I don't want the hassle. Let her have the furniture. Let her have the $3,000. Let her take over the payments on the Explorer. I don't care. I'm starting fresh. Varga loved this. It made me look magnanimous in court, while Sarah looked greedy. She jumped at the offer. She got to keep the furniture. She got the $3,000. She got the Explorer. She and Brenda were apparently celebrating in the hallway. The consequences, the real ones. Sarah got the letter from the bank about the Explorer 2 weeks later. To keep the car, she had to assume the loan. She, with no job and no income, could not qualify. The car was repossessed from Brenda's driveway last month. The $3,000? Gone. Varga found out it went to pay the retainer for her lawyer, who was now billing her for the rest of his very high fee. The furniture? She had to pay to move it from base housing, which she was, indeed, kicked out of 30 days after the filing, to Brenda's house. I heard from a friend of a friend that most of it is crammed into Brenda's garage because her house is already full. So, 10 months later, Sarah's nest egg is $0 from my savings, $0 spousal support, no car, a garage full of furniture she can't use, a $15,000 plus legal bill, living in her childhood bedroom at Brenda's house. The final entitlement. I thought I was done. I was wrong. I got a certified letter at my new address. It was from Brenda. It was a 4-page handwritten letter. It was unhinged. It detailed all her sacrifices in housing and feeding Sarah for the last 8 months. It accused me of causing Sarah's deep depression and ruining her future. The last page was an invoice she was billing me. Room and board for Serafina, 8 months, $8,000. Groceries and incidentals, $2,400. Emotional distress and damages, $10,000. Total owed, $20,400. She wrote, "This is the least you can do. You owe us this. You broke her. Be a man and pay what you owe." I didn't even laugh. I just scanned it and emailed it to Varga. Varga's final move was a masterpiece. He sent a cease and desist letter to Brenda. It warned her that this was extortion and harassment, but he also included one final helpful document. When the Explorer was repossessed, the sale at auction didn't cover the full loan. There was a $4,380.07 in deficit. As the primary loan holder, I had to pay it. Varga's letter informed Brenda that if she wished to settle all outstanding accounts, I would be more than happy to accept her payment of $4,380.07 for the car her daughter was driving. He said, "Please let me know if you would prefer to pay via cashier's check or wire transfer. Otherwise, this correspondence is closed." That was 3 weeks ago. The silence has been absolute. I'm free. It cost me my marriage, my faith in people, and about $10 in legal fees. But I'm free. I have my career, I have my entire savings, and I have 5 more years to decide what I want to do next. And I'll be doing it alone. Which right now sounds pretty good. I saw a text on her phone. "He's at his mother's funeral. The house is ours." I replied, "Be right back." Then I went home, changed the security codes, and put a no trespassing sign on the lawn. Her scream when the new alarm system went off. I, 36 male, buried my mother today. It's been a long, brutal 6 months. Cancer. You know the drill. My fiancée Naomi, 32, has been my rock. Or so I kept telling myself. She's been living with me for 2 years, ever since her freelance marketing business slowed down. The house is mine. I bought it 5 years ago. My mom, the woman I just put in the ground, gave me the down payment. It's my house. Every part of it is tied to her. I was not there. I was just a shell in a suit, shaking hands, accepting hugs from people I vaguely recognized, numb. We were at the funeral home for the service. I was in the front row, staring at the casket. Naomi was next to me, hand on my back, playing the part of the grieving, supportive partner perfectly. She thought I was too lost in my own head to notice. I wasn't. I saw her phone light up in her lap, tucked under her black dress. She glanced down, then quickly started tapping out a reply. She thought she was being subtle. She wasn't. From my angle, I could see the message she was replying to. A text from Reese, a guy from her meditation retreat she went to last month. Reese. He bought the family emergency story? I watched her thumbs move. watched her type the words that will be burned into my brain forever. Naomi, he's at his mother's funeral. The house is ours. The house is ours. I felt nothing. The profound, aching grief for my mom was instantly replaced by something cold, something sharp and silent. It was like a circuit breaker flipped. I watched her send the text, lock her phone, and then sniffle, dabbing a fake tear from her eye before putting her hand back on my knee. I sat there for another 10 minutes, just breathing, in and out. Then I leaned in close to her. I forgot something at the house, I whispered. My voice didn't even shake. I need to. I'll be right back. She looked at me, her eyes wide with that fake, concerned expression she's so good at. Oh honey, of course. Do you want me to come with you? No, I need a minute alone. Okay, take your time, baby. We'll be here when you get back for the procession. I stood up, walked out of the funeral home, past my aunt, past my mom's friends, got in my car. I didn't drive home. I drove to the hardware superstore. I'm pretty good with tech, it's part of my job. I spent an hour in that store. I bought one high-end smart lock, the kind with a keypad, camera, and no physical key. One new smart hub for the garage door, the kind that invalidates all old remotes. One all-in-one 12-piece security system. Base station, 4-door window sensors, 3 motion detectors, and 2 external 105 decibel sirens. The Wake the Dead package. 3 large red and white plastic, no trespassing, violators will be prosecuted signs. A pack of heavy-duty zip ties. Then I drove home. The house was empty. Quiet. My mom's unfinished painting was still on the easel in the living room, just as she left it. I gently covered it with a sheet. I got to work. I'm methodical when I'm angry. It took me 2 hours. The old deadbolt and handle? Gone. New smart lock installed. New 10-digit master code set. The garage door opener? New hub connected. Her car remote was now a useless piece of plastic. Sensors on the front door, the back door, the garage door, and the first floor guest window. Motion sensors in the foyer, the living room, and the upstairs landing. I plugged in the base station, hid one siren in the HVAC return vent in the living room, and the other under the stairs. I zip-tied the no trespassing signs to the front gate, the porch railing, and the side fence facing the neighbor's driveway. I logged into the new security app on my phone. I armed the system. Home. I drove back to the funeral home. The service was over. People were milling outside, getting ready to drive to the cemetery. Naomi rushed over, grabbing my arm. Leo, you were gone forever. I was so worried. Are you okay? Yeah, I said, my voice still flat. Just a lot to process. Okay, baby, let's go. We can ride together in my car. We drove to the cemetery. I stood there. I watched them lower my mother into the ground. Naomi held my hand. I felt her rings, the ones I bought her. We drove back to my house. She saw the signs first. She gasped. Leo, what is that? Who put those up? Did someone threaten you? Just being careful, I said. New security system. Oh, okay. Weird. She walked up the front steps, her car keys in her hand. She got to the door and stopped. Leo, what did you do to the lock? New system, I said, coming up behind her. Well, what's the code? Same as the old one, I lied. She punched in the old code. Beep, boop, beep. Access denied. It's not working, she said, her voice tight with irritation. You're so out of it, you probably said it wrong. Use your key. No keyhole, I said, pointing. Her head snapped back to the lock. What? Why would you get a lock with no key? What if the power goes out? It has a battery, I said. Well, call the company. It's cold. She was getting bossy. The fake grief was gone, replaced by entitlement. Huh, I said. Try the back door. Maybe that sensor is faulty. She huffed, marching around the side of the house, onto the back patio. She grabbed the handle of the sliding glass door and yanked it open. The second the door moved, the system activated. Beep, beep. The 30-second entry delay. Naomi froze. What is that beeping? Leo, what's happening? I stood on the lawn about 15 feet away. That's the new alarm. You have 30 seconds to enter the code. I don't know the code. You said the old one worked. My mistake, I said. You should know it though. After all, the house is ours. Her face, I will never forget it. The confusion, the dawning horror, the panic. Leo, what did you say? 10 seconds. Leo, turn it off. This isn't funny. The 30 seconds ended. The sirens went off. It was deafening, a piercing, shrieking physical assault of sound. Naomi didn't just cover her ears. She recoiled, she stumbled back, she let out a raw scream that was completely swallowed by the alarm. My phone instantly blew up. The security company. I answered it, holding it to my ear. "This is security company. We've detected an alarm at your residence," I yelled over the siren. "Yes, I see it. It's an unauthorized person on my back patio. Her name is Naomi. She's trying to break in. Please dispatch police." Naomi, who could hear me, was now shrieking, Leo, you bastard, stop, tell them." I hit disarm on my phone app. The silence was sudden and violent. It left our ears ringing. Naomi was shaking, her face blotchy red, tears of rage in her eyes. "Leo, what are you doing?" she sobbed. "Get off my property," I said. My voice was calm. "The police are on their way to arrest you for trespassing. You can explain to them how the house is ours." I got in my car. I'd parked it down the street before we got home. I left her there, standing on my back patio, next to a no trespassing sign, waiting for the cops. Update 1. It's been 4 days. The funeral was a blur. This is sharp. So the cops came. As predicted, Naomi put on the performance of a lifetime. 2 officers showed up. A younger guy, Officer K, and an older woman, Officer Breyer. Breyer. "Sir, what's going on here? We got a call about a break-in, but this woman says she lives here." He locked me out. "I'm his fiancée. His mother just died. He's having a breakdown. He's not thinking straight." "Officer, this is my house. I am the sole owner. I am grieving, yes, but I am not having a breakdown. I came home and installed a new security system. She tried to enter without my permission, and it triggered the alarm." "Ma'am, do you have identification with this address?" "Yes, my driver's license. My subscription boxes. I've lived here for 2 years." This is the part I knew was coming. Officer Breyer gave me that tired look. "Sir, I understand you're the owner, but she has established tenancy. Her ID is here. She gets mail here. You can't just lock her out even if whatever's going on. It's a civil matter. You have to go through the courts. You have to formally evict her." The illegal eviction. The trump card of every squatter. Naomi's face changed. The crying stopped, replaced by a smug, tear-stained smile. She knew this. This was probably her plan all along. Me. "I understand completely, officer. I'm not trying to perform an illegal eviction. I was installing a new security system because I have proof that she was planning to give an unauthorized person, her affair partner, a key and move him into my home while I was at my mother's funeral." The alarm was an unfortunate part of that new installation. I showed Officer Breyer the text on my phone. He's at his mother's funeral. The house is ours. Breyer's face hardened. She looked at Naomi. "Ma'am, is this true?" "Naomi, he's twisting my words. That was a joke. Reese is just a friend. Leo is paranoid. Look, this is a mess. Sir, you still have to let her in. We can't put her on the street. But, ma'am, I suggest you just get your things and go." "I'm not going anywhere. This is my home. I helped decorate. I was prepared for this." "Officers, I'm not comfortable being here with her, and I am not giving her the new security code. She can come in and pack a bag. Tonight, you can supervise, but then she has to leave. I will have my lawyer file the formal eviction papers first thing in the morning." The cops agreed. It was a compromise. They stood in the foyer while Naomi stormed upstairs, grabbing clothes, her laptop, makeup. She was throwing things in a suitcase. Naomi screaming from upstairs, "You won't get away with this, Leo. I helped pay for the groceries. That matters. You'll be hearing from my lawyer." She stormed out, dragging her suitcase. "This isn't over." She spat. "The cops gave me a card. Get that eviction filed and maybe a restraining order." The next day, the real entitlement began. I'm at my house trying to sort through my mom's condolence cards and my phone rings. An unknown number. "Is this Leo?" "Who is this?" "This is Riss. Listen, man, you need to stop this." My blood went cold. "You have my number." "Naomi's a mess. You're being a real monster, man. Kicking her out after your mom just died? That's low, even for you." Me. "Look, she needs her stuff. All of it, and her car. You changed the garage code. She can't get her car." "Her car, right? The silver coupe." "Yeah, you need to give her the code, and you need to let her back in. She lives there. She put 2 years of emotional labor into that house, that peacock blue accent wall in the den. That was her idea. You owe her for that." "Emotional labor." "Yeah, And we'll be by tomorrow at 10 a.m. to get the rest of her things, with a police escort. You better be there and you better let us in, or we'll have you arrested for illegal eviction and theft. Theft, okay. 10 a.m. you said? See you then. I hung up and I got to work. Call my new lawyer, Frank. I explained the situation, the text, the police report, the residency, Reese's threats. Frank, they're blowing smoke about arresting you for theft, but the residency thing is a pain. We'll file the eviction. But we can be creative. The car, you said her car. Is it in her name? No, it's in my name. I bought it for her. She was supposed to make the payments. She hasn't. I've been covering them for 6 months. Leo, you're a good man and a bit of a fool, but this is good. Call the bank now. I called the finance company. Hi, my name is Leo. I'm the sole owner of a coupe model. Yes, I need to report it stolen. Stolen? By who? By the person I allowed to drive it, Naomi. She has refused to return it. She is no longer authorized to drive my vehicle. Please retrieve your asset. They were very helpful. A repo order was filed immediately. I called a 24/7 moving and storage company. Hi, I need an emergency pack out tonight. Yes, the whole guests portion of the house. Price is not an object. The movers were at my house by midnight. They were incredible. A team of 4. They packed everything that was hers, every piece of clothing, every bottle of shampoo, every live, laugh, love sign, every dead plant, the ugly lamp she loved, even the half-empty cans of peacock blue paint from the garage. By 4 a.m., her entire life was in a 10 by 20 climate-controlled storage unit. I paid for 1 month. At 4:30 a.m., I was sitting on my porch when a tow truck rolled quietly down my street. I hit the new garage door opener. The door opened. They hooked up my silver coupe, and 5 minutes later, it was gone. I reset the alarm, locked my new lock, and went to bed. At 10:15 a.m., my phone exploded. I was at a coffee shop, drinking the first decent thing I'd tasted in a week. A dozen missed calls. Voicemail from Naomi, a shriek I could hear even with the volume low. Leo, you son of a, where is my car? My car is gone. The repo company called me. You did this. I'm at the house and the garage is empty. Where is my stuff? Leo, I am calling the police. You are going to jail for grand theft. Text from Riss. You are a dead man. You stole her car and her property. The cops are on their way back. You are so screwed. Then the call from Officer Breyer. She sounded exhausted. Mr. Leo, I'm back at your house. Miss Naomi is here. She's very upset. She's claiming you've stolen her vehicle and all of her personal property. Afternoon, officer. No theft. The vehicle is owned by me. I was no longer comfortable with her driving it and reported it to the lien holder, who retrieved their asset. As for her personal property, I was concerned for its safety. I had it all professionally packed and moved to a secure climate-controlled storage unit. I'm happy to provide you with the address, the unit number, and the key code. A storage unit. Yes, ma'am. I wanted to protect her belongings while we handle the formal, legal eviction you advised me to file. This seemed like the cleanest way to separate our property given the circumstances. Ma'am, he didn't steal it. It's in storage, and the car was repossessed by the bank. I could hear the scream through the phone. It was glorious. Repossessed? On my credit? He's ruining my life. Me, officer, I'm currently with my attorney. If you have any more questions, you can direct them to him. His name is Frank, lawyer's last name. I hung up. I finished my coffee. The legal battle had officially begun. Final update. It's been 8 weeks. The eviction process was a slog. The lawsuit was worse. Oh yes, they sued me. As soon as Naomi got access to her storage unit and the bill for the next month's rent, she and Reese lawyered up. They filed a civil suit for illegal eviction, tossed out. Frank showed the judge my texts, the police report, and the filed eviction papers. The judge ruled I'd taken reasonable steps to secure my property after a threat. Conversion, tossed out. I had the storage unit receipts and the repo confirmation. Her lawyer hated that. Promissory estoppel and intentional infliction of emotional distress. This was the one they hung their hat on. They claimed I had promised her a life, that the house was ours, they used my own words against me, and that she had contributed significant non-financial value to the home. The peacock wall was mentioned. I am not kidding. They wanted $50,000 and for me to pay the deficiency on the repossessed car, which had wrecked her credit. This is when it got dirty. First, Naomi's mom called my aunt, crying, said I was destroying my mother's things in a grief-stricken rage, that I'd thrown out her unfinished painting. My aunt, also grieving, went into a full panic. I had to FaceTime her, walk her through my house, and show her the painting, still covered and safe, just to calm her down. Using my mom's memory, it was vile. Second, they called in a wellness check on me at 11 p.m., claimed I was suicidally depressed, unstable, and a danger to myself. 2 cops had to come into my home, look around, and ask me if I was okay. It was humiliating and a clear attempt to paint me as unstable for the civil case. My lawyer, Frank, was livid. This is harassment, plain and simple. They're trying to leverage your grief. We're not playing defense anymore. This is when Frank did something brilliant. He filed a motion. He argued that Naomi's claim of destitution, that I'd left her homeless and penniless, was fraudulent. Why? Because she had a new partner, Reese, who was clearly supporting her, as evidenced by the house's hours text. Frank subpoenaed Reese, not for testimony, for his financials. We argued that if Reese and Naomi were a committed couple and he was funding her lawsuit, his assets were relevant to her claim of being destitute. The explosion was immediate. Reese's lawyer called Frank, screaming. He demanded the subpoena be quashed. Frank refused. 2 days later, we got a call. They wanted to settle. Immediately. We all met in a conference room. Me, Frank, Naomi, her lawyer, and Reese. Reese looked like he was going to be sick. He was pale, sweating. Naomi just looked angry. My client is prepared to settle this. She will drop the suit in exchange for $25,000 and you assuming the car loan. Leans back in his chair. No, here's our offer. You drop the suit with prejudice. You both sign a non-contact, non-disparagement agreement. And we won't send a copy of this subpoena and our other findings to Mrs. Wife's name. Naomi's head whipped around to Reese. Who is that? Reese went from pale to green. His lawyer put his head in his hands. Reese, who is that? You can't. I can. She's not party to this suit. But she is a party to your marriage. And since your joint assets are being used to fund this, I'd say she has a right to know where the money's going and who it's going to. Reese was married. 10 years. He was cheating on his wife with Naomi, just as Naomi was cheating on me with him. The house's hours wasn't just about them moving in. It was about Reese leaving his wife and moving his new life into my house. You're married? Ignoring her. Drop the suit. Drop all of it. What? No. Reese, he's ruined my life. My credit is shot. I'm living on your couch. Stands up, slams his hands on the table. I said drop it. The suit was dropped, with prejudice. They both signed the NDA. I heard from a mutual friend what happened next. Naomi, in a fit of rage at being used, blew up Reese's life. She called his wife. Emailed her everything. Reese is now in a divorce that I'm sure will be 100x worse than my little legal spat. His wife, apparently, is a shark. Naomi is screwed. She has no house. Her credit is in the toilet from the repossession. She has no Reese. She has no $50,000. She's apparently back in her hometown, living with her parents. It cost me about $20,000 in legal fees and movers. It cost me the woman I thought I was going to marry. It cast a shadow over the worst day of my life. I'm not happy. I don't feel like I won. I'm just here in my house. It's quiet. I sold the peacock blue paint on a local classifieds page for $20. And yesterday, I finally took the sheet off my mom's painting. I sat in front of it for a long time. It's unfinished, and it always will be, but it's safe. That's all that matters.